He is one of the most polarizing figures in modern history. A billionaire businessman, a reality TV icon, and the 45th President of the United States. This is the story of Donald J. Trump, how he rose to power, changed American politics forever, and why his name still shakes the nation. Before the political rallies and red caps, Donald J. Trump was already a household name. Born in Queens, New York, in 1946, the son of real estate tycoon Fred Trump, Donald was raised to think big. In the 1980s, he built his brand with bold architecture, Trump Tower, Atlantic City casinos, and luxury hotels. But the real boost came from TV. In 2004, The Apprentice made him a pop culture icon. Millions tuned in weekly to hear two famous words, "You're fired." Behind the gold and glitz, Trump's image was carefully crafted, a self-made billionaire who claimed to beat the odds. But beneath the surface, lawsuits, bankruptcies, and controversy followed. After inheriting his father's business in the mid-1970s, Donald Trump began to reshape New York City's skyline. His projects were grand, flashy, and controversial. Trump Tower, opened in 1983, became his signature, a gold-laden skyscraper that symbolized wealth and power. But it wasn't just real estate. Trump mastered self-promotion. His 1987 best-selling book, The Art of the Deal, turned him into a pop culture figure. In it, he shared bold philosophies, think big, and always get even. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Trump became a tabloid regular, mixing celebrity life with business deals, casino ventures, and pageants. In 2015, Donald Trump descended the golden escalator of Trump Tower to announce a presidential bid that would change American politics forever. His message was bold, unapologetic, and divisive, and it resonated with millions. With slogans like "Make America Great Again" and speeches that defied political correctness, Trump rapidly climbed the polls, defeating seasoned politicians and shocking the Republican establishment. In November 2016, he achieved the unthinkable, defeating Hillary Clinton and becoming the 45th President of the United States. His win was hailed as a revolution by some, and a catastrophe by others. As the 2020 presidential election approached, Trump faced mounting challenges, a global pandemic, economic strain, and growing opposition. Despite trailing in most national polls, he fiercely campaigned, questioning mail-in ballots and the integrity of the system. In November 2020, Joe Biden was declared the winner. But Trump refused to concede. What followed was one of the most controversial moments in modern U.S. history. On January 6, 2021, thousands of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, attempting to overturn the election results. The world watched in shock as violence erupted in the very heart of American democracy. Donald Trump's presidency was unlike any in modern American history. But it didn't end quietly. He was impeached not once, but twice, first over a phone call with Ukraine, and later for inciting the January 6 Capitol riot. Though acquitted both times, the trials left a permanent mark on his presidency and on the nation's political landscape. By 2023, Donald Trump was no longer just a former president. He was now the first U.S. president in history to face multiple criminal indictments. From hush money payments in New York, to election interference cases in Georgia, to the federal classified documents probe in Florida, Trump's legal troubles were mounting fast. But in the court of public opinion, America was divided. To his supporters, this was political persecution. To his critics, it was accountability long overdue. As Trump prepared for another run at the White House, he was battling not just political opponents, but the American justice system itself. January 6, 2021, a day that shook American democracy. As Congress gathered to certify the electoral votes, thousands of Trump supporters marched toward the U.S. Capitol, fueled by weeks of claims that the election had been stolen. What started as a rally quickly escalated into chaos. Rioters stormed the Capitol building, clashing with police, breaching security, and forcing lawmakers to evacuate. This wasn't just a protest. It was a direct challenge to the peaceful transfer of power, something the United States had upheld for centuries. As the dust settled, 5 people had died. Dozens were injured. The world watched as America questioned its own values. Trump was impeached for a second time, accused of inciting insurrection. Though the Senate acquitted him, the political damage was done. His base remained fiercely loyal. But his opponents became louder. The nation had never been more divided. Defeated, but not gone. After leaving the White House in January 2021, Donald Trump retreated to his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, but he wasn't stepping out of the spotlight. His social media accounts had been banned. He was silenced, but only temporarily. In response, he launched Truth Social, his own platform, a place where his voice could still rally millions. For his supporters, Trump was still their leader. For his critics, he remained a threat. Legal troubles began piling up. Investigations into the Capitol riot, election interference in Georgia, classified documents, and civil cases tied to his business empire. But through it all, Trump did what he does best: fight back. He held massive rallies, endorsed candidates, and reshaped the Republican Party in his own image. The Trump brand didn't fade, it evolved. By 2022, Trump was more than a former president. He was a political kingmaker, influencing elections and dominating headlines. And behind the scenes, he was planning a return. In 2024, Donald J. Trump did what many thought he never would: he returned. Announcing his candidacy for the presidency once again, Trump ignited a political firestorm. His message? Clear and unapologetic: make America great again, again. But this wasn't 2016. The battlefield had changed. Trump faced new rivals within the Republican Party, and fierce opposition from Democrats, media, and legal institutions. He was no longer the outsider, he was the storm. On one side, millions of passionate Americans cheering for their leader's return. On the other, critics warning that democracy itself was at stake. Trump's rallies turned into mega events. His digital army flooded platforms with memes, messages, and movements. Legal battles followed him everywhere: courtrooms, depositions, headlines. But for every indictment, came a donation surge. For every protest, came another poll boost. Trump was more than a man, he had become a movement. And yet, questions remain: will history remember him as a fighter who revived patriotism, or as a figure who pushed the nation to its brink? Love him or hate him, Trump changed America. The question now is, will America choose him again? Epilogue: a nation still divided. Donald Trump may have left the White House, but he never left America's mind. His legacy, built on controversy, defiance, and unfiltered leadership, has split the country in two. For some, he's a patriot. For others, a danger to democracy. But whether you support him or stand against him, one truth remains: Trump changed the game. Politics, media, elections, nothing looks the same anymore. He broke the mold and forced a nation to confront itself. As America moves toward its next chapter, one question echoes louder than ever. Are we more united or more divided than before? The story of Donald J. Trump is not over. It's being written right now. By you. By me. By every American. This is not just Trump's story. It's America's story. Just when the political world thought Trump was done, he came back swinging. In November 2022, Donald J. Trump officially announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election. His message? America was better when I was in charge. Trump's campaign focused on crime, border security, inflation, and saving America from what he called the failures of the Biden administration. He held massive rallies, dominated conservative media, and launched attacks not just on Democrats, but on Republicans who opposed him. The Republican Party split into two: loyalists who saw Trump as their only hope, and traditional conservatives who feared another term would deepen national divides. Meanwhile, legal troubles loomed. From the January 6th investigations to classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago, Trump faced multiple cases that could impact his 2024 chances. But if there's one thing Trump proved again and again, it's that controversy fuels his fire. No matter the odds, the scandals, or the noise, Trump is once again center stage. And in 2024, the world is watching. Will Donald Trump reclaim the presidency? Or is this his final act? November 5, 2024, a night etched into American political history. Across all 50 states, the nation watched in anticipation as results began to pour in. For Donald Trump, this wasn't just another election. It was redemption, or reckoning. His third run for the presidency came after 4 years of indictments, investigations, and intensifying division. Millions of voters turned out, some for him, some against him, but all aware that the outcome would shape the soul of the nation. As battleground states flipped, tensions soared. Social media exploded with predictions, conspiracies, and celebration. And then, the final call came. Whether you supported Trump or opposed him, this election night was more than just numbers on a map. It was the culmination of a decade-long American saga. This wasn't just Donald Trump's final campaign. It was the final test of American democracy, and history will remember how we answered.